Good morning. You know, you might think this old spring cot here wouldn't be all that comfortable. Man, it was. I felt like I was sleeping in a hammock. It has seen better days. It's not long for this world. She's leaning a little bit. Some Dallas Chalmers and Isaacson. Never heard of it. OMG. Came all the way out here and I'm not going to sign the register? Idiot. So that's cocoa leaf. There's an Indian legend that says that there's these ancient caverns and caves that lead to a lost river of gold. Well, Roger is alive and well. He did remember me. We had a good little visit. Yeah, it was good to see him. This is going to mark the end of the Mojave Desert trip for spring of 2022. I'm going to stop at a couple spots on the way home. I'll be sure to collect some content for y'all.
Oh, you see this guy? See this guy? Number one bullshit guy.
We're back in, was it 2008? 2008 or 9? Deb and I stopped here for lunch. That was a nice little stop. Looks closed to me. That's cool. Yep. So apparently this place was for sale not too long ago, and somebody bought it. They're gonna turn it into something, I guess. But for like $3 million or something like that, you could have bought yourself a town. Way off in the distance out there is Searchlight, Nevada. I've decided to take Christmas Tree Pass. I used to travel this stretch of highway between Las Vegas and Mesa, Arizona when I would visit my parents. And this is before they put in the bypass bridge over the dam. And I'd take this route through Laughlin. And I drive by this little dirt road that wanders up into the mountains. And said to myself, one of these days I'm gonna drive up that road, see where it goes. Well, I don't need to drive up the road to see where it goes. I just went on Google Earth to see where it goes. It goes to Laughlin. Since I'm here, I might as well take that road. The Paiute El Dorado Desert Management Area. Watch out for the tortoise. Oh, there's Searchlight. There's the turn off to Laughlin. I am here. down around mountains. It goes up through the mountains and comes down somewhere in here. Apologize for the wind noise. It is windy. Here, let me get behind this. So I'll stop along the way, and there's a reason why it's called Christmas Tree Pass. And we'll stop at a couple points of interest up here, and I'll get the camera out and I'll show you. And that's why it's called Christmas Tree Pass. Apparently, during the holiday season, a lot of these junipers are covered in garland. It's just pretty up here. A lot of people up here though, not so much a wilderness. It's a really popular spot. I think I'm gonna find a place to park. I'm gonna make a little bit of lunch and sit quietly and contemplate meaning of life for 15 or 20 minutes, and then head down into Laughlin. When we get down to Laughlin, do a little story time. Talk about a little adventure that the wife and I took 14 years ago or so. But this was about 14 years ago. It was a beautiful April Sunday. The weather was perfect for riding. Got the wife, but she wasn't my wife then, but I got my girlfriend up early. Back then, I could get her up early because she didn't have kids. I got her up relatively early. We got on the bike and we spent the day just riding like the wind. We rode to Sandy Valley. We took the dirt road out of Sandy Valley to Excelsior Mine Road. We took Excelsior Mine Road up past Horse Thief Spring. We took it the other way, all the way down to the I-15. Picked up the I-15, took that to Kelbaker Road in Baker, and took Kelso Road all the way through the Mojave Preserve, came out on I-40 on the other side, and if I continued down the road there, it would take me all the way to Route 66. Well, I love Route 66. And there were signs right there that said gas ahead. So I figured, I'll just go down there and get some gas, because there's signs that say that there was gas. They were lying. Those signs should have been updated about 50 years ago, because the one I got down to Route 66 and there was an arrow pointing that way that said gas, and there was an arrow pointing that way that said gas. I went that way first. I found the gas station, or what was left of it. It was just a slab. So I turned around and went the other way, and I found the other gas station. It was a rundown. They hadn't pumped gas there since the 60s. Just saying. Route 66 eventually re-intersects with I-40. And before I re-intersected with I-40, I hit my reserve on my gas tank, which meant I had probably maybe 10 miles range. I think it was 15 miles to Needles. So I got on the highway and I pulled that freaking Harley up that hill. Over that mountain path. It was a pretty steep incline up I-40. I got to the crest, and by the time I hit the crest, I was going 100 miles an hour, and I shifted in neutral, and I turned it off. And when I got down to 30 miles an hour, I bump started running that thing back up to 100 miles an hour, turn it off, and coast. I ran out of gas, finally, on the exit ramp. Right at the end of the exit ramp was a gas station. So I only had to push that 800-pound motorcycle 50 feet, which was good. So now it's well into the afternoon. It's the sun's getting low in the sky. I fill up gas. I got a full tank of gas, and no worries, we can make it all the way back. Instead of continuing further ahead and picking up 93 in Kingman, I decided to backtrack and take 95 out of Needles. And that was a mistake, because everything was going great. There was this big S bend in the highway, and there's a sign, I remember, said 5 sets of tracks. And I hit those tracks going about 75 miles an hour. I told Debbie, hang on. And the next thing I know, I'm 2 feet off my seat. I'm barely hanging on the handlebars. Her knees are in my armpits. She's probably 3 feet off the back seat. I don't know how, but I didn't go down. Managed to stay up. But I hit those tracks, and the train tracks were probably a good 8 to 10 inches below the surface of the road. It was not a good thing. Well, I continued down the road. I'm like, woohoo, yeah, fist pump, oh, hell, I was bitching, man, way to go, girl. About a mile or two down the road, I felt something weird. And something just didn't feel right. I took the handlebars and I gave it a little shake, and the back tire rolled over on itself, and I just about went down. The tire was completely flat. So here I am on a lonely stretch of highway. Nobody's stopping and offering for any help. I've got 1 bar of service on my phone, and I managed to get in my wallet and I called Hog. I was a member of Hog, and they sent out road service. They wanted to take me all the way back in where the hell was Kingman, to a Harley dealership there to fix it. And I said, no, just take me in here. I should have went to Kingman. Anyway, so we came here and spent the night here in Bullhead City, Arizona. So the tow truck driver hauled us into this little dank hotel on the main drag here in Bullhead, which either doesn't exist anymore or has changed hands and is no longer the rundown piece of crap that it was. But we stayed there for the night, and in the morning, which was a Monday morning, there was a motorcycle shop right across the street. It's now a jet ski rental, but there's a motorcycle shop across the street, and I thought, great, I'll just get my tire repaired. Well, I get up and I go across the street, and they're closed on Mondays. So I start to walk down the strip here, looking for some place open, and I pull in I go into one of these jet ski repair shops here, and I asked them if they knew anybody that could fix a tire for me. They called the guy across the street. He came in and fixed my tire. Well, the tube was punctured. What he didn't know is that there was a piece of metal, or what didn't have to take the time to inspect, was that there was a piece of metal still stuck in the tire. And it punctured the tube on the way out of town. I didn't even make it 2 miles out of town, and I'm stuck on the top of stuck up on a hill over there for the rest of the day. My Monday was not going well. So this guy fixed my tire, charged me a shit ton of money to do it. I got up halfway up the hill on the other side of Laughlin. I felt that tire do that again. I knew what it was. So there we sat on top of the hill. We're stuck along this section of highway coming out of Laughlin. Well, we languished up on that hill for a long time, and I had to climb that. I had to climb to a high point to get any cell signal, and I called one of the guys that I was working with, and I managed to get him to understand that we were broke down. I needed him to go to my house, get my trailer, and come down and rescue us. We'd already been gone the entire day Sunday, and now it's Monday afternoon, and our dog is locked up in the house, and we need to get back home. Well, a lovely woman named Tina happened to take mercy on us because nobody would stop. We were stuck up on that hill and no one would stop. And this lovely woman, I think she lives over in Bullhead. I don't know, she probably doesn't live here at all anymore. But she was coming down the hill and she saw us and she pulled over, gave us water, gave us a ride back down here to Laughlin at the Riverside Casino, where I was able to reestablish contact with my compatriots and was assured that they were on the way to rescue us. While we were waiting, we sat along the Colorado River is right down there. We sat along the river and people watched, and there's some really colorful people. that hang out at casinos. If you're ever bored and you want to feel better about yourself, go hang out at a casino and watch the people. It's entertaining. Well, needless to say, I had to make some phone calls. I'd call my boss. She had to call her boss, and I called a friend of mine to go let my dog out because she'd been in the house all day. He went over to my house and she wouldn't let him in to let her out, so he was afraid that she was going to bite him. So she didn't get to go out and relieve herself. And to her credit, that dog was such a good dog. She waited as long as she can. She went a day and a half before she actually went poop, and she went in the middle of our living room. She pooped and peed, and that was the only thing that we found from that little dog. What a good little dog. I miss her. I want to say this is the hotel. It looks like, I think this is the hotel. It's now a Motel 6. It wasn't a Motel 6 14 years ago, but that's the hotel. Oh, memories are flooding back. So at the end of the day, my girlfriend didn't leave me. She became my wife. We laugh about it now, but there wasn't anything funny about it at the time. She really wasn't even that mad for very long. She continued to ride on the back of that Harley with me, which is amazing. You know, I thought running out of gas was a big deal, and I thought I dodged a bullet by running completely out of fuel right at a freaking gas station. And you know, the stress was off. I knew we were gonna make it, and then the tire issue. It just goes to show you never know. That event kind of set the mindset for making sure you have something, if nothing more, a plan for what may happen. Murphy's Law, whether you believe in it or not, Murphy's Law is going to be a component of any plan that you put together. So Murphy's Law, say if you don't know what Murphy's Law is, anything that can go wrong probably will. So, you know, that's why when I go out exploring, I bring plenty of water. I've got 7 gallons of water back there on top of the bottled water that I brought with me, just in case I have to spend the night or two. Plenty of food. Extra parts, you know, things that are going to leave you hobbled on the side of the trail, like radiator hoses, an extra belt, a couple of sensors that are integral to making the damn thing run. Having that stuff available to me on the trail, if nothing else, gives me a little bit of peace of mind that if something goes wrong, hopefully I have what I need to get me on the road or get me back on the road. So I lost a lot of faith in my fellow man that day. Sunday afternoon and all that. I mean, it was a busy traffic day. Actually, I had my highways inverted. It was the 95 that was on. Was it? Coming out of Needles? Let me look real quick. Yes. US 95 coming out of Needles. US 93 coming out of Kingman. It was a busy traffic day and people were not stopping. If you see somebody on the side of the road that looks like they need help, pull over and ask if they need help. If they do and you're able to give them help, give them help. If you see somebody stranded on the side of the road and you're 100 miles from civilization, they may be in dire straits. Use your better judgment, but help if you can. At the end of the day, we made it home. We left at 9 o'clock in the morning. on a Sunday. We got back home at 9 p.m. on a Monday. And man, that bed never felt so good. Good times, man. Good times. So I hope you liked the story time. If you did, smash the like button, share it with your best social media network. Comment in the comment section if you've got a story that's similar. It wasn't so enjoyable and memorable when you're going through it, but in retrospect, it's something that you kind of look back on and laugh. That's all I got for today. If you want to support the channel, the link's in the description how you can do that. Thanks in advance if you can afford to do it. If you can't, yeah, it probably means we're cousins. Comment, like, share, subscribe, click the bell icon, do all the things. And until next time, you have fun, stay safe, shoot straight, keep powder dry, have a splendid day. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video. I need to go home.